Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we are working on my food tracker website. The idea here is that, I can't really regulate my food intake very well if I just go off what my tummy tells me. So instead, I would like to have some way for me to be like, okay, this is what I've eaten today. Can I eat more? Should I eat less? Over time, we can track stuff like, am I getting scurvy because I didn't eat any vitamin C type shit, right? That type of stuff, right? We just want to have log of food over time, and we can do interesting stuff with that data, right? We can generate shopping lists because we know when we run out of food. We can kind of figure out what things that we use the most often and make sure that we always have those in stock. Stuff like that, right? We can kind of we can look at what things we make most commonly and which things we like the most, all of that. Today's topic, though, is about trying to account for the fact that when I go to the store, I don't always buy the same bread. And also, when I make food, I don't measure ingredients. Well, I will have to measure them to enter them into the database, but I don't work off recipes that say I need a tablespoon of this, right? I'm just salt, pour, measure after, right? Oh, I use that much salt, right? And then also, sometimes I don't use all the same things, right? So how the fuck do we compensate for that? So as an example, burger. Burger is a good example for this, right? So I might make a burger that is, I have some veggie patties that I bought, and I might just huck some mayo and ketchup in there with some bread and call that a burger, right? My fridge is kind of empty. I don't have the tomatoes and onions that I would want to put on, or maybe I don't feel putting the frying the onions and stuff like that. Maybe I'm feeling lazy, right? Maybe variant 2 of this is that, I actually have burger buns for some fucking reason. I won't actually have burger buns. I never buy them. Bread is the same. And I might have one of those fancy Beyond patties. I actually don't really like those that much, but maybe I have them for some other reason. And maybe, I have some cherry tomatoes, but not real tomatoes, so I throw those in there. And maybe I don't want mayo and ketchup, but I want cream cheese and hummus or something. Maybe I don't really know if hummus would be good in a burger, but it's maybe I just saw the spread in the fridge and was maybe I'll try it, right? And so both of these are burger, right? And there's probably some commonality between burger, which is that we have a bread-y thing and a patty-y thing, right? So how do we make it so that it's easy to enter both of these? Here's what we came up with today. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to have the concept of a burger. So we'll call this, the word we've been using is collection. Someone suggested dish. That's probably a better name, right? So we'll have dishes or collections, and burger is a dish. And the only information that we have about burger when we make it is that it is burger. There is just a collection burger. We don't put any ingredients in it like we've been doing so far, right? What we've done so far is we've had a collection and we have egg on bread as a collection, and we insert the fact that there is 2 egg and 2 bread in this. Fuck that. Fuck that shit. We have burger, and that's it. That's the only thing we see from the collection. Then, when I have a meal, I'm food time, yum, yum, eat now. I instantiate burger as part of that meal. Maybe I have burger and fries, right? So in the meal, I go add burger, and in that instantiation of burger, I can now add ingredients, right? So here's our beautiful UI mockup. I have meal. In meal, I say drop down, add burger. And in burger, it will start on the first iteration, there will be nothing here. I will just add ingredients from this drop down and construct what a burger is. Then on the second time, though, we can kind of have a list of all of the ingredients that we previously used, right? Kind of like this. And we can just be sorted by frequency of use, right? So burger patties will be towards the top, bread will be towards the top, probably ketchup would be towards the top or something, because I probably use those most often, right? This does not compensate for the fact that burger buns and bread are different. But what we will eventually do is we'll add the concept of ingredient categories. So every bread that I buy will be will be a type of bread. And so then in here, at the very top of this thing, we'll kind of know that we always have something that's in the bread category and something that's in the like patty category, right? And here, these will probably be presented as like a drop down of like all of the different types of patties that we have available to us. And that's how I'll handle that. Now, we're not going to do this like ingredient category stakes. I think we'll be biting off more than we can chew. So I think that the goal for today is just to try to get this meal view and just say that we'll only use like independent ingredients. I think that kind of like works us towards a solution to these problems. So plan, add a meals page, add a meal page, singular versus plural, those are different. Add a way to instantiate a collection in a meal, drop down, which is like a drop down from a list of available collections. Probably we then we like make the previous ingredients section, and then we have to be able to like delete and add stuff. So I guess previous ingredients comes after delete and add, probably. And I guess we say that we did an intro thing. And for the, future YouTube timestamps, add meals page. Let's start there and just see what shows up. So, also I forgot, I wanted to commit everything we did before. So, start of stream June 4, and we just have to make sure that everything before here gets folded down. We want to keep the stuff separate. So let's look at meals HTML. So probably we can copy collections.html or something. And what do we have in here? We're gonna be like, I want meals.js probably. We're gonna have a list of meals. And we're gonna have some div to put those meals in. That seems reasonable. And I guess we're gonna have like a button that's like new meal. New meal. And we'll click this, and this will like create a meal and bring us to that page, I guess. That seems kind of reasonable. Surely this guy's gonna do some like stuff, but who knows what. So I think at the very least we have to add the header bar to this guy. So we have somewhere, we want meals to be somewhere that we can navigate to. And we probably just need to like call this from somewhere. So like, ingredient JS probably has this. Header, prepend header to body. Thank you. Prepend header to body, and then we probably need to like import that thing. Okay. So let's see now if we go to our little website, we go to meals, we click new meal, nothing happens. But this is hype. This is where we start. So I guess we'll say add meals / meal page. This is kind of like together. And I guess let's make it so when we click this button, something happens. New meal button is going to be document get element by ID, new meal, and Apache or Nginx. Neither right now. Neither is just like a little Zig app where we're doing our own HTTP parsing. But eventually it'll probably hide behind an Nginx reverse proxy or something. Button element. And so we go like new meal button on click. What are we gonna do? You need to peep HTMX. Nah. I don't think that like the idea of HTMX is like kind of fun, but I don't think I need like someone else's JavaScript to do it for me. HTMX equals 0 JavaScript. That's a lie though. It's using JavaScript to do the DOM patching, right? And I could just do the DOM patching myself. I'm not really worried about it. Okay. So what are we doing? What are we doing here? We say we need to we're probably going to do some sort of like put on meals, I guess. Tadpole salad. We can't read. Thank you for the G1. Much appreciated. So we're probably gonna do like method put here, and body. I guess it's almost like nothing. to be honest. It's kind of like an empty body makes sense. Right, so this is just like make me a new thing. And this is going to give me some like response. And I guess like new meal is the response JSON out of this thing, right? If we're gonna be like kind of following. Can I write async here? Yeah, I can. What is like this leads to a Sphero.js framework? I hate writing JavaScript, so hopefully not. But I guess we'll see. If we're doing the same thing a lot, maybe some things will end up being duplicated or deduplicated. So this gives me the new meal, and presumably then I just do like a redirect, right? So there's some like redirect from JavaScript. I think you just say like window location, yeah. What's the difference here? Similar behavior to clicking a link. I think that's what I want. So we're gonna go to meal.html. ID is equal to new meal ID. That feels kind of right to me. That feels kind of right. So right now, since our backend doesn't have this meals endpoint, I assume that this won't work because we won't get through here. Fun fact, if you add an ID to the element, the browser implicitly creates a JS variable for the element. Yeah, I know that, but doing it this way means that I have like a variable I can jump to that has like a type associated with it. So I'm kind of like, I'd prefer to do it like this, even though I know that you can do it the other way. Because otherwise, like the tooling doesn't know about it, which is kind of hard. Kind of a pain in the ass. Okay, so I assume now if I click this, we're going to see a put request that fails. He says not existing. So I guess that means that we go here and we create one. So somewhere we like parse the target URL. So we're going to have a meals endpoint. If this thing matches, but without an ID parameter after a trailing ID, then I guess we only have to handle put right now. Add meal is what this is going to do, which means that we need an add meal. And presumably this is going to get mad because somebody needs to do something with that add meal. So when we add a meal, I guess we're going to be like db add meal. And this is going to respond with a meal. And I guess we just respond JSON with that meal. That seems reasonable. Is there anything else that has to be done here? This probably can fail, almost certainly. Which means that our database needs an add meal. I don't know what the fuck that was complaining about. It's fine. Okay, where are our pub function add collection or something? Can we just go get collections? I just want it like at the bottom of public stuff. Here, maybe. Add meal. Which is going to return a meal, which means that we need a meal type. And we don't know what a meal is going to be yet. But presumably it's going to have an ID. Almost certainly. That's the one thing we know about it right now. This guy is going to take in DB. And what's he going to do? He's going to call, like, insert into meals with, you know, probably nothing? Surely that there has to be something. Surely. Is it really just this? I guess that's all it is for now. What is going to be in a meal? A meal has an ID, and I guess a meal is a collection. it's a collection of like ingredients or instantiations of collections, I think is what we said, which means that I guess it really is just an ID. We're just like using SQL to be like, give me an ID for this thing. Because does it have like a name? It might have like eventually it will have like a date and stuff, right? It's gonna have like when was this meal eaten? But for like that's not yet. So that's fine. That's fine, I guess. So I guess it's literally just like insert into meals and then we return ID is SQLite SQLite3 last insert row ID with this. That's kind of funny. Sure, fuck it. This means that we need a meals table, which doesn't exist yet. We should be a little careful. Let's just back up our database just in case. And let's have meals. Perfect. Perfect. Maybe we'll find later that this is not what we want, but maybe for now it is. Big moves. Okay. Refresh. New meal. He's mad because incomplete input. Can I not is that not allowed? Insert into table SQLite no values. Oh, maybe I forgot like a semicolon. No, other ones are fine with that. Insert into this. Maybe I just have to still write SQLite insert statement. Maybe I still have to write that stuff and just leave them empty. Insert into this. Then he needs... Oh, default values. I see. I see. Meals. Does he like that a little better? Yeah, so that looks like we got closer. So it looks like the meal was inserted, and then we did the redirect with ID equals 1, but now this meal.html file does not exist, which is hype. We can just make that. Meal. Boom. We did it. Okay, so now the meal page. Meal page probably looks a lot like some other page, right? Like probably like the ingredient page is like a good inspo, right? So meal.js, surely, and we're gonna have, I guess the header is literally just like meal. I guess like we don't really have any like name or anything to put in there, which is kind of funny. And I guess we're gonna have some sort of selection for like what's it called? Instantiate collection or something, right? Yeah. Something like that. Meal with a little drop down. Hype. Meal JS is gonna have to do something. Let's take some inspiration from ingredient.js, right? So extracting out the ID from this guy seems kind of hype. Where is URL coming from? We probably just have that as like a global here. Yeah, we do. Let's do that. Console log ID is this. And window on load is equal to init. Okay. ID 1. Let's go, baby. So we got our ID from this guy, and presumably we're going to want to like fetch some data about this guy, right? So I guess we're kind of moving into the idea of like uh create a meal. Well, I guess like there's nothing to show yet until we add some stuff to it. So I guess we need to first let's go back to the meals page and make sure that this meal shows up now. So kind of in like the same vein that we can't show stuff until we get it. Let's say that like we do a fetch on meals. You know, response is this. Is it a real app if it doesn't have a favicon? I am a big fan of not adding them. I think it's fun to piss the browser off. So this is a response JSON. And then what are we going to do with these guys? I guess we're going to put them somewhere in the meals HTML, right? So we have this div for meals. So I guess we go like for const meal of meals. We look at the meals node. And this is a, you know, HTML div element. We probably create like a fragment to insert. And then at the end of this, we say meals node append to insert. Okay. And then in here, we just make a hyperlink for each ID, I guess. I think that makes sense for now. So we say to insert. We do like link is a create element hyperlink. Link href is this. So probably we should have like a function make meal URL, right? That takes in like the ID, and then this stuff kind of goes here. Right, kind of like this. And then we can call this is like, oops. Over here we have make meal URL with new meal ID here. And then this is make meal URL with meal ID here. Boom. Easy. And then to insert append link, and then let's also append a BR like this. I guess we have to say that like link inner text is also equal to meal ID. And then what's this thing about parse about? Pissed about. We can't get meals because we didn't implement that. Easy. So somewhere we have, you know, meals here. Get meals, which means that, you know, wherever we have add meal here, we need get meals. And then wherever we use add meal, we have to implement get meals. Right? So this is going to be some sort of like meals is self db get meals. And then we respond with those meals. Crazy stuff in here. We're getting absolutely wild. Okay. Get meals is going to have select ID from meals. I guess that's kind of it. While statement step, you know, we append this to some return. So this is actually not going to be a single meal, but this is going to be like a list of meals. Util a segmented list of meals, so that we use these segmented lists that we can use these like linear allocators that are kind of nice to use. So then we have like runtime segmented list of meal initialized with our leaky allocator for initial list. then also for the final list, and then we need like a for like maximum, if for like expansions we use the same allocator. We have like support for using both, for using two, I guess, for an initial and expansions. Our initial size, I think this is going to be, here. So typical meals, typical num meals is going to be big. I think like really big, like maybe like 1,000, right? And then max num meals, like, so this is like 3 years times 3 meals. So this should be like, 50 years times 3 meals. Maybe like, how many more years do I plan to live? 100. I can make it to 130. So literally just add another one. Yeah, nice. Okay, so this is self, typical num meals and max num meals. These are I have these as like variables so that I can if I ever these numbers are like too small, then we can like override them with a config later or something, like a runtime config, but we haven't got there yet. Okay, so for each time we step, we're gonna say get me an I64 from column 0. And I guess it's just like ret append ID is this. Okay. Then return ret. Easy. Easy. Does this compile? No. Because this guy needs the allocator. He needs somewhere to put stuff. All right. Refresh. Now we got meal 1. We hit new meal. We go to meal here. And now we have meals 1 and 2. Baby, let's go. Let's go. Okay. So I guess maybe showing here in the title which ID we are is like reasonable, but fuck it for now. Fuck it for now. I can't stop myself. We have to do it. Me, we have to focus and make sure that we get the stuff done that we want to get done today. Also me, no. Okay, meal, HTML. So here we're gonna have, ID is, can we actually just do this? ID is meal ID. I think we can. Yeah, so then we can go meal ID node is HTML span element. And this is document get element by ID. What was it? Meal ID. Then what? We just put this in here, right? We say like meal ID node inner text is equal to ID type. Meal 2, baby, let's go. Okay, so I think that's an add a meals meal page complete, and it is time to try to instantiate a collection. So this thing needs a list of available collections, which we have some here, which is nice. So, this guy needs to, I guess this is like add instantiate collection dropdown. This is meal HTML. Wow. What a good, what are the chances that we guess the name the same? This is HTML select element. And I guess we're gonna have to do something that's like, we're gonna have to like get collections. And presumably we're also gonna have to like get stuff about the meal. But it's fine. collections response is going to be, you know, fetch collections. And collections is going to be, collections response JSON. Oh, arguably this shouldn't be blocking this. We can do it this way. But also arguably you should be starting these as fast as possible, so fuck it, whatever, I don't care. Instantiate. That is a typo, huh? Dude, how many times? How many fucking times? Okay. So with these collections, we're gonna put them in the list. So I guess we're gonna be like, like populate instantiate dropdown with collections, right? Instantiate dropdown. Okay. With collections. So we're gonna do that shit again where this guy's kind of like default option. I guess we like make a fragment. And we're gonna create like preview node is going to be a document create element of option preview node like this, and then probably at the end it's like instantiate collection dropdown inner. Can you like swap HTML node content? Is that like a thing like replace with? I want to avoid doing like inner HTML equals this, followed by, you know, fragment. But maybe it's smart enough to kind of notice this pattern. Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. You know, ideally there's probably some like swap this shit, but whatever. Preview node. We'll say add an instantiation. Add a collection. Why is this not working? Hello? Oh. Inner text is not a function. True. That is not a function. There we go. Cool. Cool. Then we add all of our collections. And what do these guys look like? We got their names, so we're chilling. We're chilling. So we, you know, make one of these nodes. The text is collection name. And then instantiate collection dropdown. Oops. Fragment. Append option. Wow. Crazy stuff. Look at this. We got egg on bread. Okay. So now we have to make it so when we touch this thing, something happens. What is this thing called? Instantiate collection dropdown on click. So we're gonna look at the selected index, right? Print that for now. Which one did I click? Boom. 0. Oh, is it on change? It might be 2. 3, 1, 0. Okay. So we're gonna be like, probably, add instantiate collection. And this is gonna be ID, and then I guess this is, or index and collections. Maybe this is collection, and we look up the collection. Collection ID from index, I guess. Collections index. Oh, we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. We have collections at this -1, -1 because 0 is preview node. Okay. And this is the collection. Okay, hype. And then we can call instantiate collection with collection. Boom. Maybe just ID. Which is going to be some sort of like meal. Meals probably with ID. No, we're going to be like meal collections. Yes. Yes, we're going to put on meal collections with some structure that's like a JSON string that has like probably like meal ID. Okay. Collection ID. Okay. Is there anything else that we need to put in there? So we're like tying together this meal to this collection. And we're saying we sure did instantiate that thing. And this is going to give us back a new ID for this guy. I'm pretty sure. So this is the new meal collection. Do I like the name meal collections? I feel like it actually might be like, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. So that should tie a collection to this thing. And then we can put the collection name somewhere in here. I think that makes sense. So we're going to look at the... Here, we need like a div to put collections in, right? Like this. What is it? Did you just call it collections? Yeah, I did. Which I think is a bad name for this because that's like gonna be overloaded. So we'll call this meal collections. I think I like that. Meal collections. Okay. And what we'll do is we'll do like append meal collection. And maybe it's like this. We have collection ID and collections. And Then we call append meal collection with new meal collection ID and collections, which we don't have here. So instantiate collections need collections. And this guy used collections here. Cool. All of that seems pretty reasonable. So here we're just like, I mean, is there really, do we even need to do this? Can we like, yeah, because we do need this new meal collection ID. This is new meal collection. Because we're going to need to know like how much of each ingredient is in here, which is not part of the collection anymore. But for now, we'll just put the title. We'll just put the title. So we'll say, how do I want to construct this thing? Node system, like node seems reasonable. So we'll make like a top level div probably. And then at the end we'll be like meal collections node, append the div, and then we just like put stuff in this div. So this is gonna have like a probably header. And this is gonna be like collections at meal collection, probably like collection IDs, I think what we called it. You know, like this. And that's good enough for now. So this guy, we're gonna go here, we're gonna click egg on bread. We also do want to set here selected index back to 0. Okay, cool. And now he's like meal collections doesn't fucking exist in the back end, which is fine. We can add that. We can add that. So here we're gonna have somewhere a REST API for meal collections. Create element. You tricked me. You tricked me. I believed you. Oh. I was close. I actually think that is what you typed. I just couldn't search it right. Good eye. Okay, so we are putting on this meal collections thing. Add meal collection. Okay. So whoever the fuck is gonna get mad at me is gonna get mad at me. Whoa, what's he pissed about? I spelled this wrong? Collections. I guess like that. Sure. This guy's mad that I didn't have add meal collection. And here we're gonna have to like parse out the body for some like API request. What did we put in this thing? I don't remember. Meal.js. This is the format here. Pub const add meal collection. Params. Params, like this. Okay, I64, I64. Is there any validation to do here? Not that I'm aware of. I think it's just like we're tying meal ID to collection ID. If the DB IDs are wrong, the database will reject them. So I think it's fine. I think it's fine. There's no like things that we want to like validate kind of like logically, I guess, if that makes sense. So let's do API add meal collection params. We use our allocator and the body of the request. We do probably something that's like add meal collection with params. I wonder if there's more to it than that. This will give us back the meal collection. And I guess we do something with that. like this. Certainly this can fail, and let's add meal collection. Boom. Okay. Are you on QWERTY? Yep. I did Dvorak for a while, like in high school, but using other people's computers was such a pain in the ass that it wasn't worth it. Was not worth it. Okay, so this is gonna have these guys as well as like his own unique ID, which I suspect is relevant. Maybe it's not. Not sure. Not sure if this ID needs to be exposed, to be honest. Because can we ever modify the meal collection? Oh, we're gonna be like modifying the parameters on this guy, like, you know, what ingredients are in this, and that's gonna be associated with this ID. So yes, this is needed. Yes, this is needed. Okay. Now what? I guess our like database needs a table for these things. Meal collections. So what is this doing? I think we wrote this down somewhere. What do we want here? So we have collection, instantiation, ID to collection ID? I guess that is it, huh? Meal ID and collection ID. And then we need to say that we have like a unique set of meal ID to collection ID. And we have some foreign keys probably. Meal ID. I always put a fucking underscore here and I'm not supposed to. References meals ID. And then the collection ID references collections ID. Okay, and while we're here, do we want to add like ingredients to this? It's gonna look like this. It's gonna basically be a replacement of this previously existing collection ingredients. Meal collection ingredients. So this ID is going to yeah, he's gonna have his own ID. That makes sense. He's gonna have the meal collection ID, ingredient ID, quantity unit. Cool. Meal collection ID references meal collections ID, and then the ingredient ID references this, and then we have some unique combination of meal collection ID to ingredient and an ingredient ID. Okay, cool. Just while we're here, we might as well get this next little piece in. Cool. And then let's put a fix me somewhere. Remove collection ingredients entirely. It's not needed anymore. But for now, we'll leave it. Okay, so somewhere we had add meal collection. That's what we're trying to do. And so I guess this is going to be inserting into that meal collections guy. And it's literally just like, insert into meal collections. We're looking at the meal ID and the collection ID. Values are bound in by parameter 1 and parameter 2. And this is going to be some statement. Who wants self and this string. And eventually we need to free the stuff that was allocated with this. And we need to like bind in these things. So bind I64 in meal ID and collection ID. Let's make sure that the order of parameters here is right. Column val, hype. What keyboard to use? It's just like a 60% brown switch keyboard. But also, I don't really think keyboard really matters that much. Me rejecting, like, rejecting myself from all potential keyboard sponsors. But yeah, I don't think it really matters. Missing page up key too is crazy that you remember that. But also, yes, it is missing the page up key. Actually, technically, it's actually missing the insert key. Actually, close though. Close. Do we need to do anything? I think it's just like try statement step no result. We're expecting like we're not expecting any rows. We're expecting this to just like kind of happen, and then we return something that's like I'm thinking about getting the kinesis keyword. Don't know what that is, but cool. I guess I'm thinking about lots of stuff. Meal ID is params meal ID, and collection ID is the collection ID. Wow. Does this build? Looks like it. Crazy. Kind of unexpected. But he's got SQLite syntax errors on init here, so I just fucked something up on these things I added. Probably adding trailing commas. Gross. Bad me. Don't do that. Okay. Now what's he pissed about? Network. Refresh. Just the favicon. And if I add egg on bread now, we tried to put on meal collections. This is fucked up. What the fuck am I doing here? What the fuck is this? No wonder this is failing. I shouldn't be doing this. What the fuck? Surely it's like I just passed in the wrong thing here. Yeah, I did. Can we do this? This. Okay, does that do the right thing? Nice. Okay, so this did in fact insert a thing that tied meal 2 to collection 2, which is hype. And then we should have appended this meal collection, but that didn't work. So this should have put something in the meal collections node, which it did, but we never did div append name, which I guess is our mistake. And then also we should do this on init. We should fetch. We should fetch from meals plus ID, and then we should do this, and we should do this with the collections as well. This guy isn't getting a specific ID, so this is kind of like this, and then we should kind of get them all at once. Meals, promise, collections, promise, and then we say like meals, collections, like this. If I remember correctly. So now we have our meal. This should be meal singular. Okay, so we have our meal, and now we should be able to go like for const. This meal should have all of the collections that it's bound, which I think it doesn't have. But we can fix that now. So now we should be able to be like for const meal collection of meal collections. Append meal collection of meal collection and collections. Wow. So this is going to get mad because unexpected end of data? Whoa. The fuck? Where is that coming from? 60. Hello? Oh, because we don't have get meal, of course. Of course. Okay, so we need to implement that in our API. So we have get meals plural. We don't have get meal, which is easy to fix. Easy to fix. So if we get a ID somewhere, then if we're calling get on meals, we say give me a meal, please. Cool. Hype. Now this will fail because we don't handle that. So get meal. Get meal. This thing has an ID associated with him. So this is going to be like get meal with this ID. I think we probably actually do need the allocator here because we're expecting to get a list of all of the collections associated with this guy, which is like some unknown amount, right? So there's like runtime allocation involved. So let's go figure out this get meal function. Okay. So we are going to start by getting ID for meals. We actually don't need that because we have the ID here, right? So, oops, this is I64. So this is actually not needed, but we do need to extract all of the collections, right? So we're going to be like, collections here is a util runtime segmented list of meal collection, right? We're going to have all these guys in here. Boom. Huge, right? And this guy is like going to be null. Sometimes we say null only retrieved on get meal, not get meals, right? So we want to say that like we know there's no point in doing this work unless we're like in the get meal page specifically. Okay. So we're being like select ID and I guess it's kind of more like get meal collections is kind of what this feels like. And then get meal is weirdly just kind of like meal collection. This is just like, this will change in the future, but for now, it does kind of feel like this. That's funny. Why doesn't he like this? We'll come back to it. I don't know. It's not showing it, so we'll come back. Meal collections. Okay, so he's gonna be like select. What's our meal collections guy look like? Select ID, meal ID, collection ID from meal collections. Where meal ID equals this, which means that we actually don't need to select the meal ID because we know what it is. We bind in the one is meal ID, crazy stuff, and then we create our return type, which is meal collection. How many collections are going to be in these things? We'll find out. Max num meal collections. I think I spelled that wrong. Collections. Okay, typical num meal collections. I think this is going to be quite small. Like, how many, like, burger, fries, like, most times I eat a few things per meal. You know, burger, fries, salad. Yeah, we'll maybe give a couple examples. E.g., burger, fries, salad, like spaghetti with sauce. Maybe like egg on bread. So like eat one or a few things per meal. 10 is likely a huge overestimate. What's the max min num? Number of rows, something related to the allocator? Yeah, so it's like, to explain a little bit more clearly, we don't really use like malloc very often. That's like rare, right? What we do instead is we pre-allocate like 10 megs of stuff or something off rip, and we call this like our like scratch space. It's kind of like our like alternative stack. The idea here is that like it's like the stack, except you can also like choose when the stack is like shrunk, I guess. So we'll come in and we'll kind of have like this much used, and we'll come into our function. And so what this like 10, this typical and max is like, I'll start by allocating some amount of stuff, and I'll like put stuff in here until it's full, right? But then like if I run out of space and like we've been doing other stuff in between, which we might. In this case, I think we don't, but we might in other cases. Then we'll be like, oh, okay, so then like let's add in like another chunk. And then we'll have like a linked list of, well, linked list is the wrong word, but we have some sort of like discontiguous, contiguous-ish storage, right? So here we're like 10, we'll do 10 up front, and then on expansion we'll add more up until some, maximum. In this one, we could probably have gotten away with just like, we probably don't need this like segmented list thing, because I assume that we could just pre-allocate like 100 and we'll never run out. Yeah, I mean, we could just do this, to be honest. 10 is likely an overestimate. 1,000 is insane. Let's just do that. We use the other guy. It's fine. Yeah. Runtime bounded array. And yeah, we'll do it this way. That's fine. So this is the kind of the same thing, except we only do one chunk. And then we'll just make it so that meal has runtime bounded array here instead. It's a good thing you asked. No fields and ID. Yeah, true. This is a meal here. Okay, now this guy's pissed because we need collection ID is equal to try statement get I64 2 or 1, and then we have meal ID is just the meal ID that we passed in. Oops, probably don't want to run this twice at once. Okay, so now what happened? We've got collections in this thing. Oops. I returned the wrong thing here. Oh, it's because, runtime bounded array. This is actually just a slice. Oops. Oopies. I forgot. There we go. Why did you design your own runtime bounded array? Just because like the Zig one, I think didn't do what I wanted. There was a reason for it. I just don't remember what it was. Maybe there just wasn't one. So a pattern I do a lot is like alloc 100 of thing, right? And then I'll do like var I equals 0, and then do like while something, thing I is equal to something I plus plus or something, right? This is like not as nice as like the array list thing where you can do like push and pop, right? So this thing is supposed to mirror array list, but with all of the allocations done immediately. Right, because like because of what we were talking about before, this like allocator only ever going down, and then like we like reset this thing to here at something. If you guess wrong with an array list, it will like all of this data is like wasted, right? So instead, I just say no fucking resizing, no resizing allowed. We just pre-jack it and then leak any extra, which is kind of like fine. It's the way it makes sense to me. All right. Does that look a little better? Egg on bread on bread. Nice. But that does seem like the wrong thing. I think that we're supposed to have egg on bread here. So what's going on there? Okay, let's take a look back. So this guy, he said we have collection ID 2. Collections ID 2 is bread on bread. So this is using like the index instead of the ID or something. It's something stupid like that. Append meal collection. Yeah, here. So we're supposed to be like, elem by ID, elem's ID, and this is a fix me. This is used in tons of JS files. Like maybe this is something that we should split out. But for now, for elem of elems, if elem.id is equal to id, return elem. Maybe this is fine, honestly. It's such a simple concept that we could write it in every file and it's like, it doesn't fucking matter. Does not fucking matter. Okay. There we go. Better. Hype. Cool. So now that we have like this thing, we need to make it so that we can like add ingredients to this thing. Modify collection instantiation. Right? So we need to make it so that for each of these guys, we have their names, but we need to like add something to them, I guess, right? So how do we do that? Where's our mock-up? We had a very beautiful mock-up. A little drop down. So that's like a list of ingredients. Oh, this is a confusing... This is confusing here. We need like some sort of separator because... That's fine, we'll handle it later. So for each of these guys, we're going to like add a drop down. I wonder. We could make like a new page to edit these as well. That's an option. Right? We could modify these in place, or we could go into like egg instantiation for this meal and modify that on its own page. That might come easier. Because that page looks a lot like this page. Like it is this page, essentially. Just with a different URL. I guess the question becomes like when I'm making a meal, what's like easier for me to enter? I come in here, I say I want egg on bread. It should be here. It has to be here. What's the goal? Track what food I'm eating, basically. But the idea that we came up with kind of when we talked about it at the beginning of the stream is that I don't use the same ingredients or really the same like quantities when I make the same thing again necessarily. So we need to make it so that we have an easy way to modify those. So what we're doing is we're saying egg on bread is like a category of thing that we make, and we'll kind of like look at all of the previous egg on breads that we made and use that as like inspo, but not necessarily like hard code the values for this meal that we ate. Yeah, fuck it. I guess we just do it inline. And if we don't like it, we can always come back. Let's only work with ingredients for now, I guess. So let's do something like every time we add one of these, append meal collection here, we're going to look at this meal collection. Meal collections, plural. We probably need that as well. So all... let me think. So I think it's like when we fetch our meal, I wonder if these want to look kind of different. We kind of want like all of the ingredients that we've added to this meal at once. So how do these guys play in? These are like the collections. It does kind of feel like in here we should have their like ingredients list here. That's how it feels. So when we get a meal collection, he has like a mapping of which meal to which collection I am, but also like what are my ingredients? And this is this. Where this used to be part of a collection, but now it's part of a collection instantiation. And so we'll call meal collection ingredient here. So maybe like this. Maybe like this. And here we're going to be like get meal collection ingredients. I think this can be... By default, the ingredients are going to be empty. Uh-huh. Did we not do some sort of... Oh, get meal collections? This should be down here. That's why I was confused. This should be down here with add meal collection. Okay. So now we have ingredients is equal to get meal collection ingredients. With meal... With the meal collection ID, I guess. Yes. Okay, that seems reasonable. Yes. And then for now, we just return nothing. Because we need to be able to add these things first, which we can't do. Yeah. And we'll figure out the rest later. So now we... Is this guy mad because this thing can fail or something? Probably. Oops. So now I refresh this guy. I get in here... In collections, ingredients is empty now. Good. And so now I want to be able to modify... I guess like add an ingredient. Yes, we want add ingredient here. That's what we were trying to get to. So each of these meal collection guys is gonna have like an add ingredient dropdown. I think this is duplicated with another file. I think. But it's fine. Okay. This is definitely duplicated with populate instantiation dropdown, which maybe we can fix. So probably this guy is probably doing something like make trigger on select dropdown, which will take like the select node as well as the like options. And surely this looks very similar to this, right? So we're gonna be like probably also the like preview text. So here we have preview text here. We say for const option of options, or option text of options, I guess. We create our options, and then we say, you know, select node, replace the content, and then we also want to make it so that there's like some callback. So we want to do basically this stuff. So here we on change, we just call the callback probably with selected index -1. That feels kind of good. Yeah, nice. So now this can be make trigger on select dropdown of meal instantiate collection dropdown with add a collection with collections and some callback, which is gonna do whatever the fuck we were doing down here, essentially. Yeah. So we say collections is collections index. And then all of this can actually just come down here. Okay, let's see if that works, because then we can reuse that code. Okay. Wrong, it says object, object, object. So here we need to map collections here. Collection names is collections.map, you know, lm.name or something. I don't really know how this works. Collection names? How the fuck does JavaScript do this shit? Oh yeah, look, that works. Okay, so now we have egg on bread, and I click that, and he does a request with the right thing. It's just we've already maxed this shit out. What's this error here? Populate instantiate dropdown is not defined. True. We deleted it. Okay, so that now we can reuse, right? We can reuse this here with make add ingredient dropdown. So we can go document, create element select. And we probably return this thing. I've got one quick question. I always see you coding something either new or the continuum of a project. I've always struggled with gaming. I enjoy it way too much, so I barely code at home other than coding for university stuff. Yeah, I'm always telling myself I should learn X or be better at current X. I can't relate, unfortunately. I love this shit, dude. Coding's so fun. It's like a video game. So it's hard for me to relate to that. I don't have any advice for you, really, because other than like, if it's like, it could be like an energy thing. Sometimes that happens. But unfortunately, I can't really relate. Apologies. Apologies. I do like games too, but yeah, I don't have like a real problem prioritizing, and so I did say recently, I don't really know how I feel about like motivation. The idea of like I don't want to do so I want to do something, but I also don't want to do it is like something that I like struggle to like. I think that if you don't do it, you didn't really want to. Or you didn't want to more than everything else. So like you might have like long-term goals that you are trying to hit, and somehow you have to like trick your brain into thinking that those are worth it, which I don't know how to do. It depends on you and your situation. Adding ingredient. Ingredients. Index. And then we need actually ingredient names. Is ingredients map, you know, lm to lm.name. Okay, so then we have this guy div append this thing with ingredients, which we don't have, but we can add it. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Things just gotta go everywhere, and then we need ingredients here as well. Okay. Alright, so no errors, which is good. Add an ingredient, we got egg and bread in here, which is good, and then when I click this, we see egg, we see bread. Nice. Noise is the arrow thing a lambda function? Yeah, I think it's like a bound function that like automatically pulls scope. It's like C++ is like this thing with like a capture of probably this. Back in zig. Yep. Okay, so when I click that button, we're gonna have to do something, right? So we're going to want to modify. We're exposing like database tables like almost directly. So I guess it's like adding to the meal collection ingredients table is kind of what this is trying to do. So wherever the fuck we just were, here, we want to do probably something that's like add meal collection ingredient. And here we're going to be like, this is going to be the meal collection ID probably. Which meal collection ID I think goes here. So then here we can go like add meal collection ingredient. Meal collection ID and ingredients index. That feels kind of right. Okay. Cool. So this is like a fetch on meal collections with a body, method put, and body is probably something like, what the fuck goes on this thing? It's got to be like the meal collection ID and ingredient ID. Yeah, this should be ingredient. Like this? Is there anything else? I guess like we let it auto select the unit and the value. Probably. So then we get this thing back. And we do something with it. Right? Presumably we attach it to somewhere. We like append it to this div, probably this meal collection div, so that we have like egg on bread, and in here we just pass in this like ingredient div or something. Seems kind of fair. Seems kind of fair. So then here we probably are going to be doing this on initialization as well. So it's probably like response here, meal collection ingredient is response JSON, and then it's gotta be something along the lines of like append meal collection ingredient to the ingredient div with this thing. Now this thing is going to have an ingredient ID. So presumably we need like its value as well. Like he's gonna have like, which ingredient am I and how many grams of it do I have? Right? That's what he's gonna have. So ingredients here, or maybe singular ingredient makes sense. Yeah, I think that makes sense. And then this is gonna be, something like ingredient div, meal collection, ingredient, and ingredient. Okay. Now what? Let's just use its name for now. Let's just use its name. Create element. Just take a div. New div inner text is equal to ingredient dot name and ingredient div append new div. We'll figure out the rest later. But I think that this will at least do for now. We need to make it so that on refresh, these things happen. So append meal collection ingredient for ingredient for meal collection ingredient of meal collection ingredients. I think this is right. We can like append this thing. Okay. Yep. Which is meal collection ID ingredients. Which ingredient is this? LM by ID, probably? Yeah. Ingredient ID, okay. And then what's the last thing here? It's the ingredient div, so div. Okay, so there are no ingredients, which makes sense, because when I do this, the put is not defined. I dumbass. This has to be a string. Okay, so I add, for egg on bread, I add egg. Egg is in here, which is interesting because this didn't work. Right? We tried to put on this thing and it failed, so that shouldn't... There's something wrong here. This needs to await here, probably. There we go. So now this doesn't do anything, which is good. And let's then... I guess we need to fix this meal collections request. So API, I guess it's on like modify or add meal collection ingredient, which means that we have like meal collection ingredients, and on put of an individual one, no, it's not by ID. It's put, we're adding a new one. Meal collection ingredient. Add meal collection ingredient. Jesus Christ, dude. All the data is like, I'm like so unsure if I'm stapling this together right. Add meal collection ingredient. Okay, so what's going on here? Add meal collection ingredient params. Add meal collection ingredient. And meal collection ingredient is returned. Okay, which means that we need some sort of add meal collection ingredient params, which takes the meal collection ID, the ingredient ID. Was there anything else? Nope. Just those two things. Add meal collection ingredient. Add meal collection ingredient params. And this returns a meal collection ingredient. Hype. This comes from this table. This is the table we're working with. All right. Insert into meal collection ingredients. We're looking at the meal collection ID, the ingredient ID, the quantity, and the unit, right? Can we do something like this? Values. Meal collection ID comes in, ingredient ID comes in, quantity 0, and then the unit probably depends on like the available units to us, I would assume. But maybe we just put unit 0 as well for now. Maybe that's fine. Maybe. Defer statement, clean that shit up. And here we're going like bind the value 1 of params meal collection ID, and 2 gets the other one, ingredient ID. Okay. Not too bad. And here we return like ID is SQLite, SQLite 3 last insert row ID is what else we got here? Ingredient ID is equal to ingredient ID. Wow. Meal collection ID is equal to meal collection ID. Okay. Unit is equal to unit type int from enum or enum from int with 0. And well, doesn't it like this? We'll see. What's the other thing we need? Quantity. Quantity is 0. Okay, what does he like about this? Enum from int. Oh. It resolves the type for me, I see. Meal collection spelt wrong. What the fuck? Meal collection ingredient. Surely it's like this. Surely. Okay. Cool. So now something should happen, I guess. When I add egg to egg on bread, what happened here? We tried to request ingredient ID and meal ingredient ID. He got mad because there's an unknown field there somewhere. We probably parsed the request wrong. Meal collection ID and ingredient ID. Meal collection ID. Did I spell these wrong? Feels right. Can we do this? That spelled right? That spelled right? So what's he pissed about? Did I not? Okay, egg? So he's complaining on JSON parsing of add meal collection params at 142. Oh, we're probably just putting on the wrong URL. Because this is wrong. It shouldn't be this. Unless in the target parsing. No, this should be right. What are we putting on here? Yeah, we are just putting on the wrong URL. Like a dumbass, dude. Meal collection ingredients. Fine, I'll fucking run the server, bitch. Okay, so egg is in here now, and if I refresh, it's not there anymore. But that's probably because here, this guy is supposed to, someone is supposed to send the ingredients back here, right? So here it's supposed to be in the collection, we have ingredients here, and it's supposed to come back, and it's not. So get meal collection ingredients should be pretty straightforward. Max null meal collection ingredients 1000. If I put 1000 ingredients in something, what the fuck am I doing? So this is gonna look similar to this guy. So we're from meal collection ingredients, where meal collection ID is here, And I guess we just look at, like, what is in that fucking table, dude? This stuff. So we have the meal collection ID. Ingredient ID. Quantity. Unit. Okay. Okay. So we have these things. Bind this thing like this. True. We are looking for meal collection ingredients here. We need some allocator here. True. Max num meal collection ingredients. Boom. And then as we step this thing, we have ID, ingredient ID, quantity, and then unit. Boom. And then I think this is simple. As we go, append that shit in here. And then give me some commas instead of semicolons. And then we have meal collection ID is the one we asked for. That all looks good to me. That looks like we're gonna get the ingredients. So we're kind of hoping now that if we rerun this guy, he compiles. That's the first thing we're hoping for. Looks like this guy needs an allocator, which means that, like, this guy needs an allocator, which he has. He compiles. We run this thing. And we're hoping that when I refresh this guy, we see this ingredients response has some stuff in it for egg on bread, which it looks like we did actually, and that triggered some, like, failure case somewhere else. So probably for egg on bread here, we have ingredients with one ingredient. That's a little bad. I would have expected 2 ingredients in here. But maybe that's right. I guess we'll see. We will see in a minute. Yeah, we'll see. Why is this guy bitching? Ingredient div append is not a function. Coming from append meal collection here. Okay. Are we missing a parameter? There's 3 here. Ingredient div dot append. I think we just did it in the wrong order. Ingredient div here. No, that's right. Wait, hold on. No, this is the wrong order. Div ID element. All right, let's try that. Nice. Okay, so egg on bread now has egg in here. If I add bread, bread is in here. I refresh, we have egg and bread. Let's fucking go, baby. Now I don't like where these things are ending up. It feels like these should be kind of like here with the add an ingredient below. And then eventually we are going to have to sort these by number of usages in this component, but we're not there yet. We're not there quite yet. Okay. So now we need to be able to, like, modify their quantities, I guess, is the next thing. Yes. Which we've kind of done before in this collections page. Right, kind of this is kind of the same thing. So how did we do that? How did we do that? We had this, like, unit mappings thing plus usable ingredient units. So we can kind of copy this over, probably. We can copy this back over. So I guess first let's add append meal ingredient. Let's do label label, and then label inner text is equal to ingredient.name. Huge. New div append label. Then we're gonna have the input, I guess. And input.type is going to be number. And input value is going to be meal collection ingredient quantity. Yeah. Let's just make sure that that looks kind of okay. Yeah, okay, so we have our inputs, hype. The value does not seem to be right, though. Is it value here, not quantity? What's going on here? Console log meal collection ingredient. Like, what's going on here? 1? It's just a number? Oh, because it's the ID. I see. That seems bad. Can we just not do that? That seems kind of better. There we go. Better. So now what do we got in here? We got what the fuck? Append meal collection. Oh. Elem by ID meal collection dot ingredients by the ID of meal collection ingredient dot. Wait, am I high? Meal collection ingredient just goes here. There we go, that's better. So now we can use quantity as the input for value there. So wherever the fuck this guy is, we're like quantity. Huge. And then we have all of this unit stuff from collection.js, which will go away from there eventually. So we have all of this stuff. And how was that used over here? Usable ingredient units here would be it. Yeah. So somewhere we're making like a select drop down here. Unit select. Select. And for, you know, we have like usable units is this, which takes in an ingredient type. And we go like for unit of usable units, we go we create an option that goes into the select. The option inner text is going to be unit.display. Yes. And then unit select append option. And then we need to add this to the new div append unit select, I think. Huge. So egg can be in grams and pieces, bread can be in grams and pieces, and then all we have to do is modify this instantiation, this thing, when these are changed. Which I'm okay with doing later, I think. This is feeling pretty good. So data entry here is like, we have 2 pieces of bread here, right? that's pretty sick. So now we have like our meal. We instantiate many collections, right? So I can go new meal, add a collection. So, okay, let's make a collection that's like burger, right? And then we, for meals in here, we're like, I had burger and my burger had bread. And like I guess our ingredients have to have like, you know, uh, veggie patty or something, right? Veggie patty. This is broken. We would fix this. But if we could insert an ingredient, we'd be able to be like, give me some burger has bread and veggie patty. And then modify the quantities, etc., etc. Cool. I think we call it there. Well, I think I'll try to do the cleanup tomorrow in happy hour, and then the next mainstream should be about trying to get like like the cross meal stuff working, right? So we need to make it so that this ingredient drop down, I don't really like the drop down, to be honest. I feel like maybe like a search bar or something might be better, showing like the previously most used ingredients also would be nice, and then some like cleanup on like the look of this is probably the goal for tomorrow. Cool. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like what you saw, we stream most days. We aim for 12:30 Pacific time to 4 o'clock Pacific time. It is 3:30 now, so anywhere between 3 hours ago and half an hour from now is when you should expect to see us live. There's a YouTube link in the Twitch description where feature development VODs go up. There are VODs that are not necessarily like feature development. Today, we kind of did a segment on trying to plan out what this whole feature was going to look like. And that is just something that ends up in the paywalled segments, so YouTube members, Twitch VODs, or Patreon. The reason that we do that is, one, because like the YouTube algorithm isn't friendly to all content, but also because this stream will die someday when I run out of money. And it would be, it's nice that if people want the stream to continue, they have some place where they can like support and get something in return. So if you want those things, you can support on Patreon, YouTube, or Twitch. Otherwise, I think that's it. YouTube, peace out, and Twitch, let's find someone to raid.